Good evening, Drew.
Hey, good news.
Good
And,
news.
and bad news.
Okay.
Well, the good news is I don't have COVID.
I'm glad you don't have COVID, Drew.
But I'm coughing like you
Oh,
wouldn't believe.
no.
There's going to be a lot of me muting myself tonight, I think,
Okay.
because I'm coughing up a storm. I have felt like absolute crap the past few days, and my lady friend has access to COVID tests
Mm-hmm.
because of where she works. So, I was coughing and I was feeling like crap, and I'm like, man, I really don't want COVID. It was one of those ignorance is bliss scenarios.
Right.
But I did the home test. Have you ever done one of the home tests?
I have not done. My wife just did one. Yeah.
It's pretty fascinating. The kit we had, it was the nasal swab, and it's like a one-sided Q-tip. You sort of shove it up your nose, and you swish it around in there, and you swish it around in your other nostril, and then there's like this little dropper thing that you put the that you put the Q-tip in. And all I could think about through the entire process is I was like, I wonder what this tastes like, because like you take the Q-tip and like you sort of swish it around in the solution, and then like it tells you to like take your fingers and like squeeze the tube to get like just really get the gunk out of the Q-tip head.
Okay.
And it's like, hey, if any matter comes out of your nose, that's good eats. Like, don't throw that away. Like, put that in the tube too. So I did that, and then you have to put the little dropper in the pregnancy test looking thing, and I only got one bar. I didn't get two.
Oh, I'm sorry you're sick, but I am glad it's not COVID.
Yeah, but I felt like absolute crap. Last night I had a glass of wine. Okay. Oh boy, how do I even say this? This is not a cry for help. This is not a cry for help. But last night I really wanted to sleep better because I've been coughing a lot, and like again, my wife is a saint about this type of thing. Like, she's not complaining to me. She lets me go to the doctor and feel better. But I've been coughing a lot, and I have time travel juice at home, which is NyQuil, and I drink that in just large periods of times, go to blurs. So last night I was getting ready to come downstairs and play video games, and I poured myself a little glass of Malbec, and then I went over to the cabinet and I got the NyQuil out, and I'm like, my Malbec is red, this NyQuil's red.
Oh no.
And it all goes to the same place. It all goes to the same place.
No. Oh no, Drew. Oh no.
I tried it. You know what? Like the stinky red grape juice. I mean, I'm very picky about the kind that I like, and I could drink a Malbec without like too much of a complaint because it comes down pretty smooth. It's a blend. But I dumped the NyQuil in the wine, and woof. I have a special name for this cocktail, and it's called the slow burn. Because, if I have a glass of wine, it usually kind of lightens up my mood. It makes me think that I'm not completely terrible at my job, and it makes the world okay. But the NyQuil really took it up a notch, and I slept pretty good last night. Still coughing though.
Okay.
First of all, I'm not advocating this behavior at all. Again, this is not a cry for help. This is not an official endorsement. Don't do this. Don't do this. I won't do it again. Like, I learned my lesson because, frankly, it didn't work that good. But if it had worked better, I might do it again. But I probably won't do it again. Probably won't do it again. Definitely won't do it again.
Probably
this
won't
week.
have another slow burn.
Yeah. Oh boy,
Are you okay, Drew?
I'm not okay, Paul. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's been a tough week for me. How are you doing? What's going on with you?
I'm doing good. All things considered, it's good. The kids have had a lot of delays and snow days and stuff. So,
how's it been down by you? I saw that like everything south of Columbus didn't have power, and I immediately thought of you.
no, we've been fine on the power side. It's just been cold. It's cold out there, Drew. It's that cold that if you're out there for too long, the wetness inside of your nose freezes. And your nose feels all crunchy. It's not a good feeling. Yeah, I don't like it.
Well, it's definitely warmer today than it was yesterday. Although I think it's supposed to go down to 2 degrees tonight. Or maybe it was 2 degrees this morning. I don't know. But we had one of those special weather advisories where it was like, please don't go outside without 6 coats on.
Right, exactly.
Because the wind chill bad.
Wind chill bad.
Wind chill bad.
Yep. Oh.
Okay. Well, let's get to tech now that we've sort of taken a peek. Now that we've peeled the onion layer of my problems. Okay. So I had an interesting thing happen this week that I wasn't sure. Well, looking back on it now, I completely understand why it happened. So, I think as our regular 6 listeners to this program know, I use a Mac for my daily driver. And because of where I work, because it is my computer, and I choose to use it for work, it is what we consider to be a company-managed device.
Okay.
So there are policies that are applied to the computer. There is required software that has to run. It also installs a series of certificates to let me communicate with certain services that it needs to. And there's regular monitoring of the policy. Like, it doesn't monitor my traffic or my web browsing, or it doesn't snoop my pictures or everything, because there's a very clear line that this is still a personal device, even though I use it for work. Now, granted, like, I'm not, I don't browse the internet on that computer for reasons that I won't get into in this podcast. But anyway. So last Friday, I had an interesting scenario where I really fucked up my computer. So, Paul, are you familiar with the quote-unquote unofficial package manager for macOS known as Homebrew?
I am. I very much am.
Yeah, so you use Homebrew.
I love Homebrew.
I like the idea of Homebrew.
Okay. Do you like the idea of Homebrew?
I like the idea of Homebrew. Okay. My next question for you, Paul, is what shell are you using right now on your Mac?
I have switched when Apple decided to switch the default shell from Bash to ZSH or Z shell, depending on how you want to say it. Mm-hmm. I completely switched over to that.
Yep. I was on Z shell before they forced everybody to switch. When it became an option, I switched over. And I installed Oh My Zish and all that stuff's great, right? So here's the thing. I was having this very peculiar problem with Git on my Mac. On newer versions of Git, you can set all sorts of like global configs for like what user ID do you want to use, what default branch name do you want to use, et cetera, et cetera. And what I was noticing, very annoyingly, is that when I was creating repos locally, it would always default to master instead of main, regardless of what I would tell it. And I've been living with this problem for a while, but based on some work that I was doing last week, I was like, this is so fucking stupid. I need to figure out what's going on with this. So the first thing I did is I fired up Homebrew, and you're supposed to install Git via Homebrew. So, I did brew update, and it, spun for like 5 minutes, and then it updated all of my packages. And then I explicitly tried to reinstall Git. And it says it was installing it, like the version that it said it was installing was the version that I expected. But what I was noticing is that when I was still running Git, if I did Git version, it wasn't correct. And I thought to myself, okay, so clearly I have multiple versions of Git floating around on this computer. So I need to like figure out what is happening here. That led me to try to update Homebrew. And okay. I kept getting these very, very ominous Ruby errors that I did not understand. So my first thing was, all right, time to uninstall Homebrew, which that's problematic because the minute you uninstall Homebrew, you lose everything all the packages you installed. And I looked at it, I'm like, okay, well, what packages do I have? I have PowerShell, I have Git, I have Python. Those are all very easily reinstallable. So bit the bullet, uninstalled Homebrew, reinstalled it, reinstalled Git. Same thing happened, right? It was not picking up the correct Git version. So as one does, I start Googling and I see this helpful advice like, yeah, you're picking up the default Apple Git, which, you can't delete, but you can rename. So I was like, all right, let's try that. And it wasn't working. I kept getting like, permission denied because it was owned by system, whatever. So I was trying to elevate to sudo, and somehow I changed my admin password in the process. And I don't know what I changed it to.
How did you do that?
I think I mistakenly tried to elevate to sudo with like su dash, and it was like, what do you want your new password to be? And I didn't understand what I was doing. So like I think I typed in the password wrong or something, and I don't know. Mistakes were made to say the least.
Okay.
But that changed my admin password. And then as soon as it happened, I realized what I did. Now, Paul, have you ever forgotten your password to your Mac that has File Vault enabled?
No, never. No.
Okay. So the way it is supposed to work on a normal Mac is if you have File Vault enabled,
which is Apple's full disk encryption.
Full disk encryption, right? But there's more to it than that I'm going to get to in a minute. But if you have that turned on and you forget your password, when you boot up, you can recover your password because it's all synced to like your iCloud account, and you can recover it pretty straightforward. If you have another device that proves that you're you can recover it pretty easily. However, my device is company managed, and that rule doesn't apply. So in order for me to recover my password, I have to get a recovery key. Again, sort of the same principle in that like my phone that I use for work is also a company managed device that has the same software on it. So I'm able to see all my connected devices, what they're using, and like I was able to get my recovery key and recover. So in the process of doing that though, what happens is it basically wipes all your saved passwords, all your login credentials, your keychain, everything. Gone. Just gone. Right? Like all that is gone. So like all my logged in websites, all that stuff I had to redo. What were some of the other ones that I had to do? Like all my Microsoft login stuff I had to relog into, like Office and OneDrive, and just it was like a whole series of events on Friday that with time that I'm not going to get back. But what I ended up discovering was apparently when I upgraded to Z Shell or Zish, it did not copy my path correctly. So it was just not picking up where my stuff was installed. And if I had looked at my path first, I probably would have solved the problem. But that's like a word of warning that whenever you lose these things, you're gonna wipe out all that stuff. And I think that's by design, right? Like it has to basically assume that it's going to make you re-authenticate everything. So it's just a huge pain in the butt.
Yeah.
All right, so we got a couple Kickstarters to talk about, and you put a link in here. I don't understand.
Okay. Have you looked at this link?
I did.
Okay.
It's very well funded.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Including my pair of.
Excuse me. What?
I back this for sure. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Sell me something. Go.
Drew, why don't you tell our listeners what you're looking at here?
All right, I'm looking at. Okay, I'm gonna read it in the inflection that the title conveys.
Mm-hmm.
Heavies headphones engineered for heavy metal. Metal loud headphones with 2 frequency ranges and 4 drivers, so you can listen to metal the way it's meant to be heard. There are currently 3,500 backers with a little over a month left to pledge. Yep. The original goal was $20,000, and it has currently raised $623,000 on whatever distributed blockchain piece of shit thing that Kickstarter does now.
Oh, yeah. So this came, I read some heavy metal websites.
Hold on, I'm not done.
Okay. I'll keep
we
going.
Should be. I don't know who they're referring to as we here. Like we should be able to experience.
Drew, just know that we doesn't include you.
Okay, we should be able to experience badass metal sound the way it's meant to be experienced. We couldn't find headphones that were good enough, so we decided to create them. Meet Heavies, created by metalheads for metalheads. Paul, hold on a second. I want you to tell me why this is important, and I know you're gonna. I don't
know why it's important.
These things look ugly as fuck, bud.
Oh, okay.
First of all, hold on. I think that is a woman that is wearing these. I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, she's a woman. Yeah, or well, I would assume. As cis white male, that is a woman.
I know, and I'm not trying to make a joke here. All I'm saying is this is a smaller framed human, and these headphones look comically large on her.
They're big. They look big.
Once upon a time, people sat in their basements with their hi-fi systems and listened with really big, large, nice headphones. Right? This is what this reminds me of.
Yeah.
All right,
yeah.
all right. Go,
Okay.
go.
Okay. So, I mean, you know me, Drew. I
met you.
like. Okay. Yep. I like heavy metal music. You know this. I'm also, like I'm looking at, a headphone amp and multiple headphones, and I like music to sound good. So I think I saw this through metalsucks.net, which is a great metal website, by the way. And so they did a little write up of like, hey, this guy is inventing heavies. I mean, there it is. Headphones engineered for heavy metal. And like, I'm okay. So first of all, I'm going to go on record and saying these things are gimmicky, gimmicky as fuck, right? Like they talk about having multiple drivers in each cup and a technology that allows you to listen to it loud without having hearing loss and all kinds of gimmicky bullshit, right? Just absolute gimmicky bullshit. And Drew's absolutely right. They are not attractive to look at. They look very, I mean, of course, they're black. They have the word heavies across the headband on the top. They're big. They're big. They're chunky. I mean, you got to have room for those 4 drivers per ear cup, right? I mean, you got to have the room. But first of all, I could not back this project, Drew. Like, I can't think of another Kickstarter that is more uniquely suited to extract me from my money. Like, they're like, Paul, this is for you. And I was like, oh yeah, you got me. Boom. Pledged. Done. Ooh, extra cables? Yes, please. They upsold me on extra cables, Drew. But okay, here's my fear, Drew, is not that these are gimmicky and they don't work. My fear is that they do. And it sounds amazing, and then I'm forced to wear these chunky thick boys constantly. Oh,
okay, all right. My turn.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna rapid fire this. So I'm scrolling down the campaign page for these, and there's a section here that says protect your ears.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
and I quote: "Because we care about your hearing, and we want you to enjoy listening to metal for the rest of your life, we added a dosimeter with a built-in pressure gauge. This system enables you to crank up the volume without damaging your ears. Maximum volume with minimum damage. With our built-in SPL dosimeter technology, your ears will be protected from listening fatigue or hearing loss." I don't think that's how that works.
I don't either, Drew. I don't either. Oh.
Loud sounds are loud unless they're not loud. So I don't know what they're trying to sell you here. Okay, the other thing, okay?
Well, it's patent pending.
Okay, sure. So here's another thing. You and I both enjoy good headphones.
I do.
You and I both know people who are very, very deep in the headphone lifestyle. Just put it that way. Okay. I'm looking at the price point of these headphones. So pledge $269. You get 2 sets of these things.
Yes.
Estimated retail price $438 for 2, or $219 is the estimated retail price of 1. So my question to you is this: given that we know that a middle of the range headphones, by anybody's measurable estimation, is well north of $400 on average.
Yeah. Well, of course, if you look at the chart, how heavy's compared to most other headphones, they say $500 and more for similar quality.
I feel like that's a giant red flag. Like either.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, either.
Absolutely.
Okay, so here's my hunch. Here's my hunch that they probably sound really good, but the materials are probably dog shit, and they're probably going to fall apart.
It could be, yes.
I'm not trying to yuck your yum, buddy. If it.
No, I'm going into this thing with a giant bag of skepticism, but I couldn't resist backing this project. Drew, do you know what they call their noise canceling technology?
I can't wait for you to tell me.
They call it Hell Blocker. There you go.
Hell Blocker. Oh, there it is. Hell Blockers. Heavies. Advanced noise canceling keeps the noise of your everyday hell out. Well, they're not wrong. I mean, existence is hell. Switch to transparent to let your shield down. Okay, that's clever.
Mm-hmm. Patent pending.
We're heavies. It's talking about how like you shouldn't use this with Bluetooth, even though it supports Bluetooth.
Yeah, you can listen to them wired or wireless, which I think is a nice touch. It's a nice touch.
Now, the other thing that's interesting here is I'm looking at pictures of these, and it looks like they've got some really nice knobs for volume built into them.
Yeah.
That's actually a nice touch. It's a nice touch. And the other thing is estimated delivery is August of this year.
Mm-hmm.
That feels ambitious.
That feels like a lie.
Yeah.
Well, so if you go through and you actually look at, they have like a timeline.
Mm-hmm.
The timeline says they expect it in September, so it's a little bit different. Like they're hoping to start building these in April and delivering them. Maybe September is when they hope to have deliveries done. I don't know. It does seem ambitious to me when you have, big companies having a hard time getting the chips they need to sell things. I bet maybe this has been designed with that in mind and doesn't use those legacy chips or whatever. But yeah, it still feels ambitious. It feels ambitious.
All right. So I'm looking at the comments. Joe Foster asked a day ago, heavy team, I'd like to know a few things, please. Number 1, do they fold up? Can they? 2, how much do they weigh? I have the AirPods Max, and I think those are heavy. 3, as a bass player, I'm a bass head. I mean, I am fully expecting these cans to rattle my head with some amazing low end. We are talking Michael Anthony and Unchained type bass. Are these going to be able to pull that off? Lastly, I want these things loud like crazy loud. I want to strap on and crank Painkiller and be mind blown. I listened to Ralph Sheepers.
I have no idea who.
Kiski and Peck screaming their lungs out with some blazing double bass kicking. Please tell me exactly how loud they can get in dB, please. I want to compare them with some other cans that I own. Thanks, and looking forward to this. Glad to be a part of it. And then there is a slash, and then an M, and then another slash. I don't know what that means.
Okay. So Drew, when a metalhead can't use emojis and they want to throw dem horns in the air,
that is the horn. We're missing a finger though. No, we're not.
No. There's no you don't see a thumb, but
I see a thumb when I look at mine when I throw the horns.
Yeah, but not like but you can get the adjust. That's the forefinger and the pinky sticking out, and the 2 other fingers. That's
I see it now.
Mm-hmm.
I see it now.
Yeah, you will never not see it.
See that. Okay,
there you go.
So Heavies, the creator, replies, "Dear Joe, thank you for reaching out. Answer number 1: the Heavies headphones are semi-folded. Cups can tilt, but won't fold in. Metal sign. 2, they weigh 255 grams, 9 ounces, almost 35% less than the headphones you have now. Interesting. Okay. 3, we will not boost the basses. We will deliver it as we will not boost the basses. We will deliver it as genuine as possible to the intention of the artist. The headphones include 2 woofers and 2 bass canals, so we are pretty sure they will satisfy your needs. Metal horn. Metal sign. 4, our loud enhancement technology is based on psychoacoustic models. It is going to be loud, but without the pressure on your eardrums. Metal signs. Thank you so much for the support, and here for any future questions. The Heavies team. Metal sign, metal sign.
I'm gonna Google psychoacoustics. Is that a real? It is a real thing.
All right, tell me what psychoacoustics is.
The branch of psychophysics involving the study of sound perception and audiology, how humans perceive various sounds. Okay,
Ooh,
so it's a real.
wait a minute. Okay, this is interesting. Someone asked why there's no European Union solution. Are these like a North America only thing?
They must be.
As shared with our backers, due to COVID-19 and the drastic changes in the transportation market, it will be hard to predict if we are shipping from the EU. In that case, it'll be similar to ordering other online products from outside the EU. We can tell you that we're working with a fulfillment partner or shipping from both the EU and the US, and we'll do our best to support both from the get-go. So I wonder if that means, oh, wow, people are really unhappy about this. There's a whole string of comments in here. Well, buddy, I want this to be good for you.
They won't be, but I had to get them, Drew. I had to get them.
I mean, you can't afford not to, right?
No, not for well, my pledge is $200 because extra cables, Drew. I got to get the extra cables for my heavies.
Bluetooth. I'm looking at the different controls. Previous song rewind, turn, volume, push, play, pause, memory foam, ear cushions. Next song, Bluetooth, resonance absorbing carbon fiber, reinforced PA12. That's some kind of plastic.
Probably. I mean, they look plastic. There's a lot of plastic on that sucker.
Man. Well, I'm excited for you to get these, and if they're good, if they're good, I'll buy your AirPods Max off of you.
Oh,
I wonder if you could take a phone call with these on.
They have a mic?
Well, they have Bluetooth. Oh, they might not have a mic. But
right. Do they have a mic?
I don't see one.
I don't see one either, which is fine. I mean, like, if I have to get on a call, you know, I'm gonna want time to kind of wind down from all the psychoacoustically modeled heavy metal that's been blaring in my eardrums in a safe manner, so I don't lose any more hearing that I've already lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, keeping on the Kickstarter kick here for a minute, we mentioned this a few shows ago about how there was a Kickstarter for Thunder Road Vendetta, which is a reprint of Thunder Road. I was excited for it. You weren't. And then they pulled the Kickstarter for reasons that I wasn't entirely clear on, but the Kickstarter is back. It went live yesterday. They raised the minimum pledge goal to get the project started. It has exceeded that goal. They wanted an initial goal of 300,000. They're at 529,000. I don't fully understand what they have changed. It looks like they have tweaked the rules considerably to make them a little more modern, a little less goofy like the original game. And again, we talked about all this already, but I just wanted to bring it back up to you to say that it's back. And I don't know if you saw that or not.
I did not see that until I looked at our document and saw that you had put it in there, and it's back.
Yeah,
they have a PDF of the rules available.
Yeah, and I think that was one of the big sticking points of the last one. Was the rules were a little unclear. But again, it's a little unclear to me what they changed. I'm trying to figure out like what makes it better. I'm not.
You backed it, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So you'll get to play it. I mean, look, we talked about before. I had this game growing up. I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. The original game is very dice heavy, very chance heavy. I think that they put some things in here to make it a little bit better. I was trying to figure out just what the hell they changed, but the comments so far that I've read, because like I like to, just like I'm reading the comments on your goofy headphones, I'm reading the comments in here, and I'm trying to figure out like everything seems to be a little more positive. There's gonna be an AMA about it again, and I think they did an AMA last time, and that's when they got all that bad feedback. But they're gonna do another AMA on Tuesday next week, which is February 1st, which is probably the day after this comes out. I'll probably check out the AMA and see what they're doing. But a lot of the questions look like they're on the rules right now. Again, I'm not really 100% sure what they've quote unquote fixed. I'd have been happy with getting it, I'm sure, before they did all this, but it's nice to see them take a step back and redo it. So anyway, just a follow-up piece on that.
Awesome.
Okay, first of all, I really enjoyed your spoiler alert warning. Where did you find that, by the way?
Oh, that is my daughter.
I knew it. I'm like, that has to be Arabelle. Oh my god, I'm so happy that you said that. I wanted that to be so true. I'm like, yes, Arabelle, yes.
So I'm sitting there Sunday. I usually edit the podcast Sunday mornings. It's part of my routine, and I'm sitting there. I'm like, I need something for the spoiler horn and the spoiler warning, because a lot of podcasts have the spoiler horn where they just blast a foghorn. I'm like, I don't want to do that. Like, I'm sure I could find a foghorn, but everybody's done that. I'm like, I bet you I can get my daughter to record something. And like, so I asked her, and she said yes. And she's like, what do you want me to say? I'm like, I don't know, something like, hey nerds, there's going to be spoilers, but make it your own. So she just said, hey nerds, there's going to be spoilers. She did a couple takes. I liked the first one the best. It was the most natural. And there we go. That's our new spoiler. Anytime we have spoilers,
God. Man, you know what? She's getting a Christmas present for me this year, because that was perfect. It was so perfect. All right, well, you're going to get a chance to use it again, because I want to talk about what you've done in Mass Effect 2. So, again, more heavy Mass Effect talk. Again, this podcast isn't for you. It's for me and Paul, so we're going to talk about it.
Okay. Mass Effect 2 spoilers. Boom, now.
Hey, nerds, there's going to be spoilers.
Man, that story is freaking good.
It's good, right?
It's good. So basically, to kind of put you roughly where I'm at, I have the full squad. I have everybody. I've got them all. I've collected all the Pokemon. I have done all of their I guess for better or worse, I'll call them loyalty missions, because it seems to be if you succeed the mission, they're loyal. At least for a bit. At least for okay. So I wanted to be authentic, and I didn't succeed on all of the missions. I just didn't.
Okay, so
some of them I screwed the pooch, and they're like, I'll murder collectors for you, but
I'm not gonna like you.
I'm not gonna like it. Yep.
All right, so walk me through the characters that you didn't succeed on.
Okay, let me go through all of these. So ones that I have messed up on. Nope, I got that one.
There are two that are very easy to screw up. So I want to see which ones you did.
So Zaid Masani.
Yeah, he there is a very specific path you have to take for him to not fuck up.
Yeah, I fucked that up. Whatever he was trying
he sucks. Don't worry about it.
Whatever he was trying to get went away. Samara,
oh, right, her daughter. Yeah.
Her daughter. I was trying to, I don't know, seduce her daughter so she could not kill me. I messed that all up. And everyone else I succeeded.
Okay. So you have go ahead. I don't want to interrupt you.
But it does not mean that everybody still likes me.
Okay, so there's some conflict that happens, huh?
Uh-huh.
All right, so tell me who else doesn't like you.
So Miranda is pissed at me.
Okay, so you sided with Jack.
So it seems to me that it triggers whenever you they have these conflicts built in.
Yes.
And they seem to trigger when you complete both characters' missions.
Correct.
Right? And I had literally just done Jack's mission, where you basically learned that, as a kid she was just, tortured by a super radical member of Cerberus, but still basically Cerberus, right?
Right.
So Miranda's giving her shit like it really wasn't Cerberus. I'm just like, shut the fuck up. Like, she's damaged, and then from that point on, she's like, I don't want to talk to you. I'm gonna pout and stay in my office.
Yeah. Go to your room.
Fine. So fine. Yeah.
Okay.
But the other ones, that was the very first one that I had accomplished.
Mm.
The other two, I think my Paragon was up high enough that it unlocked other more diplomatic options, and I was able to navigate those without people being pissed at me.
Like who?
What's her face? Tali and Legion.
Legion's pretty dope. I like Legion.
I like Legion quite a bit. Yeah, it's just fun to have a Geth and kind of get a little bit of insight into them. Yeah. I can't. Someone else fought too, but I can't remember who it was. But I was able to navigate that one fine.
Let me ask you a question about the Tali and the Legion thing. So I want to focus very carefully for reasons that I don't want to get into right this particular minute. So you did Tali's side mission where you go to the migrant fleet, right?
Yes.
And Tali is on trial. Did she get exiled?
No.
Okay.
No.
And she's still loyal to you?
She's still loyal to me.
Okay.
Well, something happened, Drew.
Okay, what happened?
She dead.
She died.
She's dead.
Okay,
yes.
What happened?
So I'm actually currently running through, which it may be the final mission or may not be, but I've actually made the jump through the Mega 4 relay, and I'm in the collector's base.
Okay, so you're in the end game. You're in the end game.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Yeah.
Okay. So let's back up. So let's not talk about that. But you did Tali's mission. She didn't get exiled, but she died. Yes. Legion's side mission gives you some interesting choices at the end of it too. What did you do with the Geth at the end of Legion's mission?
So you have the choice of whether you want to destroy them or fix them. I destroyed them.
Okay. Cool. Okay.
I gave Legion almost every opportunity to tell me how he fought, and he was like,
"Yeah,
I don't know. We see both sides."
Yeah.
And I was like,
Fire.
I've literally been murdering Geth this entire game. Why stop now?
Okay, so before we talk about where you're at right now, because you are experiencing what is called the suicide mission right now.
Oh yeah, shit's going down.
Okay, so have you finished that mission yet?
No, I have not.
Okay, so you quit in the middle of that? You have way more fucking willpower than me.
I had to come talk to you.
God
Drew.
damn it. If you said, hey, I need another 30 minutes and here's why, I would have been fine with it.
No, it gives us something to talk about next week. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so Tali died. Okay, but I don't want to talk about that yet. Did you do all the DLC? You did Zaid. You did.
Okay, so,
you did Kasumi.
So I've been trying not to look on the internet to figure out what is DLC and what is not. But like I said, I've done all of the missions for all of the right. So if Zaid and Kasumi were DLC, I've done their missions. I also did the whole Leora romance Shadow Broker side plot thing.
Shadow Broker's good DLC. So what happened? How did that resolve for you? What did you decide? Or what did Leora decide?
So she became the Shadow Broker.
Awesome. Yep.
And then we drank some wine and
yep.
And
good to see you. Back to saving the galaxy. Good luck storming the castle.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, basically. And I thought there was one point I'm like, I wonder if I should I wonder if there's more to this. I wonder if I should go back to where the Shadow Broker Nexus was and see if anything's there. She's just like, hey, thanks for coming.
Yeah, I'm busy.
Yeah. Hey, thanks. Yeah.
Yeah, you can get resources and stuff from
Yeah, I did all that stuff and yeah.
Okay, let me think.
Yeah, I mean, it felt like it was a nice reward for that story. When it was, and that was a pretty good little side mission.
Yeah. Lair of the Shadow Broker is really good. There's a couple other side quests that were also DLC. You probably if you had no other missions on your galaxy map when you made the Omega jump, you're good. You did everything I think you could possibly do.
So as far as missions, I did all of those. And I did some I took my more time. If there was a side quest that even kind of looked even remotely interesting, and I was like, yeah, I'll go back to Omega and do some stuff. I would do all those. I didn't do all of them. I left with probably half a dozen sitting on there that I just can't be bothered to go and look for fucking dog tags. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I hear you.
I just don't want to.
Yeah, the Normandy DLC thing. It's really not worth it. There's
I
you really don't get anything for that.
like I just don't care. And at that point, like I had done all like, and there was also part of me. It's like, well, goddamn, like I have a lot of people that are loyal to me right now. Like I don't know if any of these could fuck that up. So I'm like, you know what, like, we got the IFF, right?
The Reaper IFF. Yep.
Yeah, the Reaper IFF. And as soon as it was like, hey, let's as soon as like Edie, the intelligence was like, hey, it's working now, we can go do it. I'm like, all right, let's dive in, baby. Like I've been busting side missions and stuff, and I mean ignoring that part because I figured that would be like, I figured that would take me into the end game. And plus, like the game basically tells you like, hey, you're gonna use this Mass Effect relay to go to another unknown part of the galaxy. I'm like, at that point, I can't do any more missions, I assumed, right? I'm gonna be somewhere else.
Well, there's a reason for the urgency though, because something happens before you jump there, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, so yes, that's the whole. It sets up. It's like, hey, why don't you and your squad take the shuttle to your next mission? Wink, wink.
Thanks, DM.
Yeah, that you didn't pick, and we're just gonna go do. And I wasn't sure what's gonna happen, but I'm like, oh, like something's gonna happen to the Normandy. Like this is this is a little railroady. Everybody that's important is off of the ship.
Yeah,
and it was kind of cool to play. I mean, playing as Joker for like all of like 5 minutes and like not having a gun and seeing everybody on your ship just get absolutely
taken.
Exactly. Just collected. Yeah, just all like definitely overpowered and outgunned and like I've done a lot of the So after you do that, you kind of go through the relay and go through, and I've also spent a lot of time dropping probes on planets and getting stuff so I could do a lot of research, and I felt like maybe there's different outcomes of that depending on
let's talk about that because you're past that part.
Yeah.
So how many of the research projects did you complete?
A lot. Did
you complete the ship upgrades?
Yes.
Then so I can tell you this now because you're past that part, but there are 3 ship upgrades that are vital to everybody surviving the journey to the collector base. So one is the cannon upgrade, one is the shield upgrade, and one is the hull upgrade. If you don't,
I did all 3 of those. Yeah.
I forget which one it is. I think it's the shields. If you don't have the shields, one of your crewmates will die in transit.
Okay.
Everything else will survive. But
they keep dropping little things like someone would go, good thing we upgraded that hull, or like good thing we upgraded those shields.
Yep. As long as you nab those 3 upgrades, you're good. Without them, like the journey to the collector base goes a little more rough.
Okay.
Okay. So you're at the collector base now. How did Tally die? Tell me what happened.
So the very first thing you have to do is you have to pick someone to kind of go off by themselves
and crawl through the vents.
Crawl through the vents. I picked Tally for that. And then you split up the team, whatever. So, I mean, I don't know if there's anything I could have done. Basically, you have to like go through and hit these 8 checkpoints before she burns up from the
Correct.
heat, which I did all of those. I nailed them all. But while the door was closing, she got like shot in the head. Like literally, like it's kind of was disappointing in a way because she got shot in the head, and all I got was this brief little cutscene of everyone looking down, and it's just her dead with a pile of blood outside of her head. No, like, that sucks or anything.
Who led your other team?
Miranda.
I want to check something real quick because that's interesting.
She dead. And another person just died as well.
Who else died?
Garrus just died.
How did Garrus die?
So the next part is you have to pick a bionic character to basically shield you from a swarm. So I picked Samara as the bionic, and I took Grunt and Garrus with me to fight because I figured it'd be a very combat heavy part of the game, and I was right. I was very happy with my choices.
Are you sure Tally was loyal?
She was loyal. Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna make a suggestion for you.
I believe so.
I'm gonna break my rule. I'm gonna break my rule for a second.
Okay.
If you have the ability, restore a save and go back, and choose someone other than Tally for the vent. If Kasumi is loyal or Legion is loyal, I would pick them instead. Double check Tally's loyalty, because okay, I can tell you this now because you're past that point in the story.
Okay.
When you were at the trial, after you go over and you figure out what her dad was working on, and you come back to her ship, did you present the evidence?
No.
Okay, then she should have been loyal. But
so she was loyal, and I knew she was loyal because after the fight between her and Legion, I went to my squad page to make sure they were both still loyal, and they were. And that was like the last thing I did. Because
okay, so what you're experiencing in the suicide mission is there is going to be a series of checks from here on out. Okay, and you already sort of are picking up on this, that you're gonna get additional choices like this as you go through the mission. Okay, my suggestion would be this: go back. Okay, and I hate save scumming, but it's important for one reason. Number one, Tally has a really big part in Mass Effect 3. And I would hate for you to miss that in your first playthrough.
See, I kind of just want to roll with it.
Okay,
Drew. I don't know. Yeah.
Okay, no, that's fine. I get that, but I will say this: if anything, who did you pick for the biotic specialist?
Samara.
Samara, but she wasn't loyal.
She was not.
Jack is your go-to for that, by the way.
Okay.
If you pick Jack for that, not only because she's loyal, she'll survive that. Jack has, if in all my other games, I never had Jack survive because I just don't like her as a character, but I went out of my way to protect her in my last playthrough, and she shows up in 3 in a really interesting way. So again,
so it was funny because like Samara wasn't loyal, survived. Garrus was loyal, died.
But how did Garrus die? How did he die?
He got much like Tally. Right when the doors were closing, the swarm got Garrus and drug him away. I assume he's dead. He might not be dead, but he got taken away.
But your second fire team leader, who did you pick?
I think I picked Miranda again.
Miranda again?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. But Miranda wasn't loyal, was she?
She's not. No.
Okay. Okay. That I forgot about that. Okay, now everything makes sense. Okay, so now I understand why.
Okay.
So yeah, you will lose squad members if the people leading your other squads are not loyal.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. And again, you're sort of already through all that. And if you want to live with those choices, like, more power to you, right? But I was kind of hoping you had picked Jack for the second part, because again, I had never experienced what I experienced in Mass Effect 3 from Jack, because I think the fact that she's going to survive, you will get to see her, but there's some unique dialogue options in 3 if you had chosen her for that second part. But okay, you're good. I'm sad that Garrus died though.
I am too. I liked him a lot, but
yeah,
it's okay. Not everyone's gonna make it back.
So you're right at the end of the game. That's cool. So talk to me a little bit about the characters and like who you like. Like you said, you like Legion. You said you like Garrus. Who else do you like?
I feel bad for Jack. Like you said, she's definitely a bitch, but I definitely see why she's like that after, basically taking a walk through her broken childhood.
Mm-hmm.
I also think Thane is a really cool character.
Thane is fucking dope.
I'd like him a lot. Yeah. And the whole side mission with his son, I thought that was really good as well. Yeah, I like Thane a lot. Mm-hmm. Thane's going to become my new Garrus. That's what it's going to be. Yeah.
So he's a romance option as a female shepherd. Just keep that in mind. But you're committed to Liara. That's good.
I'm committed to Liara. I'm committed.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. So you're going to finish that, and then you're going to move on to Mass Effect 3, I hope. Uh-oh.
Okay. I am going to play Mass Effect 3. And I think, assuming it's the same size as Mass Effect 2, I'll be fine. But Horizon Forbidden West is coming out in a couple of weeks.
Okay. I'm going to implore you to get through 3.
Okay.
Now, don't speedrun 3.
Okay.
because I want to talk about Mass Effect 3 for a minute. So I recently completed my last playthrough of Mass Effect 3. Again, the first time I played, here's an interesting thing, right? I think I talked a little bit about this last time, but there's just so many parts of Mass Effect 3 that I just don't remember. I very clearly remember how it ended, and I remember how it begun. There were large parts of the game that I was playing through it that I just did not remember. And with the Legendary Edition, they have tweaked the mechanics about how you figure out if you get a good ending or not. Because, and again, I think I mentioned this last time, so if I'm repeating myself, I'm sorry. But like, it relied on like mobile apps and like website experiences and stuff that you could get like these quote unquote readiness points that basically determine whether or not you survive the war with the Reapers. But you'll see all that when you play it. Video games very, very rarely make me cry. Mass Effect 3 does make me cry at the end. There are lots of very powerful moments in Mass Effect 3. I mean, don't get me wrong, like some of the side quests and things are touching in Mass Effect 2, but when you get to Mass Effect 3 and you've been seeing these characters throughout the entire series, and you know your relationship with Liara and what you know about the galaxy and what's going to happen and how you feel powerless to stop some things, and the way they wrap the series up is really good. And like I said, I played it when Mass Effect 3 first came out, so I got the quote-unquote ending that pissed everybody off. When they patched it and they released what was called the extended cut, that is what made it into Mass Effect 3.
Okay.
And again, I had never played any of the DLC for Mass Effect 3. Like I said last time, I had played Leviathan, which I thought was just an outstanding piece of DLC. In fact, you'll have the ability to do the Leviathan quest chain pretty early in your playthrough of Mass Effect 3. Do it early because it's very good and it provides a lot of background that up until that point playing through the series is all supposition. But it definitely gives you some definitive like evidence of why things are the way that they are. I'll say that. Omega, which is the other DLC, which is where when you go and help what's her name? The badass Asari on Omega Station. What the hell is her name?
Oh, the one who kind of like
runs things.
Yeah.
She's voiced by Carrie-Anne Moss. I can't remember her name. But you get
Google will tell me.
Yeah. Crap, what is her name? Here, I'll get it. Mass Effect 3 Omega.
Arya.
Yeah, you go and you help Arya. She's a badass. She's voiced by Carrie-Anne Moss, and you get a whole thing about you taking back Omega Station from the bad guys. It's really good. And then there's a third DLC that I was told was the best DLC, but I was very skeptical after playing Leviathan. Omega's good, don't get me wrong, but I like Leviathan a lot. The Citadel DLC was very touching because you actually it definitely gives a very large wink and nod to the player at certain points in the game. That's all I'll say. It has a very, very interesting plot. And it is a little tongue-in-cheeky and a little campy in sections, but it's really funny. Yeah, that's all I'll say. So make sure you carve out the time to do those three. The other thing that really pissed me off about my recent playthrough of Mass Effect 3 is I mentioned this before, there are multiple endings to Mass Effect 3, and not only are there multiple endings, but there are degrees of like the same endings, meaning like depending on how much time you put into the game, you will get like either like a not great ending for the path you choose or a slightly better ending for the path that you choose. And even though you are given 3 choices at the end of the game, that's not really maybe is that a spoiler? That's not a spoiler. You will get choices about what the outcome of the game is going to be. There is what is considered to be a quote unquote canonical choice that nerds like to debate about in various subreddits. But for reasons that I won't tell you right now, I thought for sure that based on how I played Mass Effect 2, like I I actually played Mass Effect 2 enough to know how to get like the best possible outcomes from most of the missions. I will say that all of my crewmates survived the final encounter, but it was mostly due to luck because I couldn't remember the exact order of operations for some of the things, but they all survived. And I thought coming into Mass Effect 3 that I was going to be set up for maximum success. And I got to the end of the game, and I thought I was going to get the super happy-go-lucky ending, and I didn't. And I was so pissed. I backed up my save and I uninstalled because but no, I still got the quote unquote canonical ending, like the one that I think that based on what they have teased about the next game, is going to be like the events that happen or what's going to set up the events for the next Mass Effect game. But I'm excited to talk to you all about that. So I want you to play 3 because I want to hear how things play out for you. But no, that's good. That's really good. I'm really happy that you're seeing this through and that you're enjoying it.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's one of those things where like I'm kind of like you talked about like going back and reloading my save and like I think I'm just like I don't want to know. I'm just kind of just pushing through it. And like if people die, whatever, I make mistakes. And I think this is a game that I'll probably like let it sit for a year. And then like maybe read some like wiki guides and try it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say that the most important thing to understand is this. In Mass Effect 2, there are a lot of guides about how to complete the suicide mission with the maximum number of people surviving. I will say this, and you're already in a position where this isn't going to happen to you, but it is possible for Shepard to die in the suicide mission.
Oh.
Yeah. If you speedrun Mass Effect 2 and you get to that mission you're in right now and nobody's loyal, Shepard will die. Because like your entire team will be wiped out. And there's a section of that where someone has to save you, and if no one's around to save you, you die.
Huh.
Yeah. You have to actively like be bad at that game for that to happen.
So like at that point, do you like just lose and you can't do Mass Effect 3 or
you won't be able to import that character into Mass Effect 3.
Okay.
You can start a new character and again they will like sort of quiz you at the beginning. Yeah, like, hey, do you remember when this one thing happened? What if you were there? What if you would have done? Right? Like it definitely does one of those. But no, it's good. Yeah, man. God, I cried at the end of Mass Effect 3 again. I did. Every time I'm a goddamn sucker for that.
I'll be bawling. Don't worry.
It's just the ending is just super super powerful. One last question for you. Part of one of the things that Mass Effect 2 is really good at doing is Cerberus is obviously a piece of shit organization, right? Like
obviously. Mm-hmm.
But how do you feel about working for them? Like you're doing what needs to be done, right? Because the council won't listen, right? Like that's the whole point, right?
The council won't listen. I mean, they did buy me that really nice ship, and
they resurrected you.
I was going to say, and they brought me back to life. So, I mean, so how do I, Paul Baylor, feel about it? I feel pretty shitty because they're definitely a bunch of racist assholes. In my head, in my canonical Shepard, she sees it as a means to an end, right?
Right. Same here. I mean, that's how my Shepard played it.
Yeah.
What do you think of the Elusive Man?
I keep waiting for like a twist with that he's really there to set me up and like he sent me there to die and not save the world, and secretly he's been indoctrinated and he's all part of he's part of the problem and not part of the solution, but it hasn't happened yet. I mean,
all right. So based on what you've told me, you have about 30 minutes left in the game.
Okay.
I would encourage you to go wrap that up tonight.
I probably will. We'll see.
Because you have a little bit more of the collector based mission, and then there's like the cutscenes and stuff that follows. But
okay.
Yeah. No. I'm sorry to hear that you lost those characters. But again, that's part of the experience, right? And you will get to experience what that means for what happens in Mass Effect 3. And that's actually pretty damn exciting, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's just having seen how much they've pulled in for Mass Effect 1, And like there's stuff like I keep waiting for more stuff to be pulled in Mass Effect 3, like stuff that I've done that they really haven't touched on much. I definitely get so sitting here today and hearing what you said, it really feels that like Mass Effect 3 is me going like I feel like I have to go through and like everybody, all the races, and get them on my side to fight the Reaper. Like we're preparing for war, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So like,
yeah,
and I'm sure that like
right.
people, I'm sure like Tali dying is going to make that conversation with the migrant fleet suck.
Yeah, so
absolutely suck.
Yeah. So again, without spoiling anything, you're exactly correct. So in Mass Effect 3, like, you're preparing for war. You're exactly right. Part of the game is you rallying support to your cause to basically get an army together, like an armada and a team and an army together to go fight the war, right? And there is a number. Right? It's called your galactic readiness. And as you travel the galaxy and do missions and unlock plot points, like various races will send resources to your side and the number goes up. And depending on when you get to the end of the game, how ready you are is going to determine what possible endings you get. Now, I will say this, is that at the beginning of the game, that number is not 0. That number will be a number that will take into account what happens in Mass Effect 1 and 2. And like, I'll tell you right now, one of the biggest differences that, you and I did is you saved the Rachni Queen. I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
So will she be there to help you in Mass Effect 3 as a resource?
I hope so. That'd be nice.
Certainly would be good, right? But maybe you have to go convince her. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I don't know. But like, but see, I never had that option. And if you think that shit got turned up to 11 in Mass Effect 2, you won't get as many squad mates in Mass Effect 3, but the craziness of the plot, and this isn't a bad thing, goes in directions that I never thought they would go, and I'm excited for you to see it.
Personally, what I'm hoping is somewhere in between Mass Effect 2 or 3, that what's his face, the scientist, the crazy scientist guy,
Morden?
I hope he cures the genophage, and I have just like an absolute like shit ton of Krogans to go help me fight the Reapers.
I love Morden so much, man.
I want battalions of Krogans. Just
let me find it. I don't know. I gotta find it. Let's see here. Mass Effect.
I don't know if that's a possibility or not, but I don't know. I like those big five. I like them. They make me happy. Oh.
Let me find this. Let me find it. Oh, okay, here it is. And you could probably play this during the podcast. I don't know how much you talked to Morden, but did he sing to you?
No, he didn't. He has not sung to me.
You gotta. Yeah. So you'll have to go and watch that. He sings he's the very modern model of a scientist Solarian. So he's like singing a Gilbert and Sullivan song. I wish I could fuck Morden in real life. I'm not even gonna lie.
Oh.
And he's one of my all-time favorite characters in the series. I really like Thane. I really like Morden. I like Legion. I like Garrus. And I think in my very first playthrough, I had a relationship with Miranda. Jacob, I'm kind of hit or miss on. I didn't like Zaid. I didn't like Kasumi. I do not like Jack as a character. I just think that she's very, I don't know. Like, I feel bad for her and like her character arc and everything, but I just don't like Jack. Although, like I said, I went out of my way to save her because I normally don't. Tali, I could kind of take or leave. I think that the Geth are kind of their problem, right? Like, they did this.
Yeah.
So sorry, Tali. I never really went out for her. I love Liara. Garrus is super cool. But yeah. Okay. So cool. I'm excited for you to finish that. I really want you to go play Mass Effect 3. And hopefully you get that done before the next Horizon game comes out. Okay, cool. So we're done talking about Mass Effect for this week, and we'll talk more about it when you start playing Mass Effect 3.
Absolutely. And we'll talk about the ending of Mass Effect 2 next week too. Of course. Hey, we're on the internet, doingtheirbest.com. We're on Twitter at doingbestpod. I'm on Twitter at Paul Baylor. Where can we find you, Drew?
Yeah, and I'm on Twitter at Pitferg, Pittfurg, where you can find me talking about things, and also over on Twitch at Pitferg when I've been streaming a little bit, and hopefully I won't kill myself with more wine and NyQuil between now and then.
Thanks for listening, everybody.